Hello, I'm Burt Green, this is the Burt Locker, and this is a casuals guide. The casuals guide is literally just a complete guide to the whole fight card for the UFC, for UFC events. This one is focused on UFC 292 coming our way this week, headlined by Aljamain Sterling defending his bantamweight title against Sugar Sean O'Malley. So the gist is, I'm going to go through the entire fight card, a little bit of information on every single fighter, every single fight, and I'm going to keep it below 20 minutes. So, because you've got stuff to do. Do you know what I mean? I respect casuals because they actually have lives. That's what I like about casuals. You have lives. You all got things to do. You haven't got 2 to 3 hours to sit watching a fight preview show. So this is for you, casuals. Casuals unite. Casuals built the sport. And I respect the hell out of that. Right, starting off with Karine Silva taking on Marina Maros in the ladies flyweight division. 5'5", plays 5'7". The reach is both 67 inches. Now, Karine Silva is a murderer. Absolute murderer. I love her style. She don't mess about. 16 wins, 16 finishes. She got a Dana White Contender Series real nice submission. She got a Bravo choke in her second UFC fight. And then in her last fight, she got a lovely knee bar. Really, really nasty angle on it as well. Go back and watch it. It was woo, lovely. Absolute savage on the ground. She's got good striking as well. I like her. I think she might go all the way. Karine Silva. Maros, wow, she has been around for a long time. I wasn't super aware for her. She debuted in 2015. That was when Gonzaga fought Krokop for the second time, which was a long time ago now. She's been very good. She's got strong kickboxing, good grappling. She's not bad in any facet of the game, really. I think that Karine Silva is just so good and intent on finishing fights. I think she's going to be too much for Maros in this one. Maros isn't bad. She could cause an upset here. I like Karine Silva getting into the submission though. Andrea KJB Lee taking on Natalia Silva. You've got 5'6", playing 5'4" with a 4.5-inch reach for Lee. Now Lee, she's a fun fighter. She wears a cowboy hat, so I'm instantly a fan. Kickboxing is what got her to the dance, but she's also got some pretty good grappling, to be fair. She's got a brown belt in judo, and she's got a BJJ brown belt as well. So it's a good combination. She does need to finish fights though. She ends up on the wrong side of split decisions all the bloody time. Natalia Silva might be a problem. She's got some really good kickboxing, especially in kicking range. Brilliant kicks. Her grappling is also outstanding. She finishes most of her fights, especially in the UFC. Natalia Silva might be better in just about every area, but Lee will be bigger and she'll be more physical. I'm still going to take Silva by knockout in that one. Andrei Petroski against Gerald Meerschat. Got 185-pound division. 6 foot, playing 6'1" with a 4.5-inch reach for Meerschat. Now, Petroski, he's big, he's a solid middleweight. He was a champion on the regional scene. He plants the feet and he tends to throw with power a bit more than being light on his feet. He's got good grappling, brown belt under Daniel Gracie. Gerald Meerschat, GM3, is a submission wizard. 27 submissions on his record. A lot of them were out on the regional scene, but actually an awful lot of them have been in the UFC as well. His kickboxing has come a long way. He caught Bruno Silva with a lovely hook before he got the submission in that one. So look, if he gets you to the ground, or if you shoot a sloppy takedown, he's going to get your neck and you are donezo. That is Gerald Meerschat in a nutshell. I'm going to take Gerald Meerschat in this one because I just feel like he's so good at getting the neck, and that always gives him a chance. I think Petroski should probably keep this standing. He does hit hard. I'm going to take GM3 in that one. Austin Hubbard versus Kurt Holloway, 155-pound division. Man, these are like two generic creator fighters, honestly. When I looked at them, I was like, they just both, I don't know, they both look a little plain. Anyway, 5'10", plays 5'11", 1-inch reach for Hubbard. Hubbard is on his second UFC stint. Lost for the first time. He had a lot of issues with his gas tank. He has got decent ground and pound. His striking is a little flat, though. Holloway is similar to Hubbard. Again, second UFC stint. Looks very similar. He gravitates more towards the grappling in his style, and that's where he's going to find success. On a coin toss, I'll take Hubbard by decision for no reason at all. Gregory Rodriguez, Robocop, taking on Denis Tuilian. 185-pound division. I've butchered that surname, I'm sorry. 6'3", plays 6'1", 2-inch reach for Tuilian. Robocop is a fun fighter. Look, I'll always tune in to watch Gregory Rodriguez fight because he's tough as old boots. Even when he got one of the worst cuts I've ever seen, he still went on to beat Chidi Njoku, which is very, very impressive. He's a BJJ black belt who just doesn't like to use his jiu-jitsu. He likes to just whack people in the face and get whacked. He just loves to fight. I respect that. 1 for 2 in the UFC for Tuilian. He got subbed in both of his losses. He can throw, and Rodriguez probably will strike with him. Look, if Robocop was smart, he would take this fight down and he would submit Tuilian. But he's not smart. He's going to get into a slugfest. I'm still going to back Robocop in a slugfest. I'm taking Robocop, Gregory Rodriguez by knockout in that one. Then you've got the prelim headliner. We see the return of Chris Weidman taking on Brad Tavares in the middleweight division. 6'2", plays 6'1", with a 4-inch reach for Weidman. Chris Weidman makes his return. If you don't know who Weidman is, basically he came along and he dethroned the most dominant middleweight champion of all time in Anderson Silva. He then rematched with Anderson and he checked a kick, breaking Anderson Silva's leg in a really nasty place. Then fast forward a few years, Weidman is coming off a few losses. He's fighting Uriah Hall, throws a kick, breaks his leg in exactly the same way. So, it all comes back around. Now he's making his comeback. And look, his style is pretty good. He's got good wrestling, good boxing. He hits with some power. He's got good elbows from standing. He seemed to move away from those. I think he needs to move back to those. I believe it was Machida that he caught with the standing elbow. Brutal. Absolutely brilliant. Brad Tavares, his opponent. He is the definition of a game fighter. He's got very good stand-up. He's very tough. He loves a dogfight. Watch his fight against Dricus Du Plessis. It's an absolute war. He was on the Liddell? He was on the Liddell versus Ortiz Ultimate Fighter final. So he's been in the UFC since 2010 and he's still there. That speaks to his quality, honestly. He's not been cut one time, I don't think. He's always been there since 2010. To be in the organisation for that long and not get cut or win a title is quite frankly astounding. This is a good comeback fight for Weidman. Look, I think it would be easy to say this is a winnable matchup for Weidman, but look at what he was doing before he broke his leg. He lost 5 of his last 7, for God's sake. It's not like he was on good form and then suffered a horrible injury. He was on trash form and then he suffered a horrible injury. Tavares is also on a skid, but he's also been active. I think I'm going to take Tavares in this one because he's not coming off a catastrophic injury. Then you go to the main card. If you're enjoying this, just hit subscribe, hit the bell notification. That way you get to know when all my videos drop. I do all these fight previews. I'm going to do some, we have a lot of fun here. Recap the bets, putting terrible bets on, all good stuff. We have a good laugh. It is a good time. So hit subscribe. Marlon Vera versus Pedro Munoz. That's an interesting one. 135-pound division. 5'8", plays 5'6", with a 5.5-inch reach for Vera. Now Vera, he's a very solid rangy striker. He's got great front kicks and he uses them very, very effectively. His kicks in general are what he excels at, really. He's got fantastic footwork, but he does also have a sneaky Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, which he seemed to use his Jiu-Jitsu much more early on in his career. He tends to prefer to strike these days. Munoz is a short powerhouse, stocky powerhouse. He swings for the fences. He often throws over the top because he's often the smaller man going in, head down, throwing over. And you know what? He does hit with a lot of power. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's got a brown belt in Judo as well, so we know what that means. He's probably hard as nails. He is very good. He's got a wicked guillotine as well. Watch out for that one. He is built for just that squeeze. If he gets a hold of that neck, it's going to be curtains. I think that Vera should have the advantage in this one, though. I think he's going to have the advantage standing. I think he can probably keep Munoz at range with kicks and draw Munoz into a mistake. I'm going to take Vera by KO in that one. Now, Damon Blackshear taking on Mario Batista in 135-pound division. This is an interesting one because Blackshear actually fought last week. Looked very, very impressive. He actually got a twister. He managed to land a twister on, I forget who it was, but it was only last week. Go back and watch that one. Very solid, very good all-round, tough fighter, very athletic, hits very hard, great submissions. He's very, very good. I do like Blackshear. And plus, he's turning around at a week's notice, although on the counter to that, like, he's having to make weight twice in as many weeks. I don't know how hard the weight cut is for him, but something to definitely consider. Mario Batista, he's a very high level BJJ brown belt. He's coming off 3 submissions in a row in the UFC. That is impressive. Against UFC competition to get 3 submissions in a row, that's pretty good. This is an interesting one. Blackshear, like I said, he has had to make weight for the second time in as many weeks. I don't know if it's a particularly hard cut for him. If it's not, then he's going to be fine. But look, he decided to take the fight, and you know, credit to him. You make the most of the fight camp. You only pay for 1 fight camp, and then you get an extra payday in there. That's perfect. Plus, if he gets another impressive win, which I think he might do actually, he's big, he's physical, I think he hits a lot harder. I'm going to take the knockout for Blackshear in that one. Neil Magny taking on Ian Gary Machado. Ian Machado Gary, whatever you want to call him. 170 pound welterweight division. 6'3", plays 6'3", with a 5.5 inch reach for Magny. Now, Neil Magny, he's stepping in to replace Jeff Neal. It's fairly short notice, but Magny, he's always in shape, so there's no question there. He's got cardio for days. That's what he uses as a weapon. He tends to grind his opponents and just wear them out. He's got long technical striking. He's got great grappling. He's got very long limbs. Watch out for those chokes. Gary Machado is undefeated for a reason. He's got a judo black belt. He usually gets the knockout as well, but he can get the throw, and he's just very, very good in all areas. He is undefeated for a reason. He can take a shot as well. Kenan did test his chin. We saw that. He's overcome some adversity as well. You need to see that early on in the career. Magny's a step up in competition for Ian Gary, make no mistake about it, but we do know how good Magny is. I just cannot bet against somebody who is undefeated and who has looked as good as Ian Machado Gary. I'm going to take Ian Machado Gary in that one. Zhang Weili then takes on Amanda Lemos in the co-main event, strawweight title for the ladies. 5'4", plays 5'4", with a 2 inch reach for Lemos. Weili is an absolute stud. If you don't know who she is, she's this unbelievably strong kickboxer out of China. She's got great boxing, great kicks, and she's just unbelievably strong as well. In the grappling exchanges, she's very tough to move around. Very, very good fighter. Lemos, she's a Muay Thai killer out of Brazil. She's got savage leg kicks. Some of the heaviest leg kicks I've ever seen. Just all... I wince when I see them. It's so much fun to watch. I'm such a big fan of hers. She's ultra dangerous. She knows how to grapple. She has got grappling, but that's not what got her to the dance. She loves to stand, and she's got vicious Muay Thai, and that is all you need. I'm just such a big fan of hers. This is why I'm going to take Amanda Lemos here, but only because I am a huge fan of her style. I'm just a big fan of watching her. I'm a big fan of hers in general. The power, the leg kicks. I'm a big fan of heavy leg kicks. It just, there's something about it that I'm like, I kind of, I wince. I'm like, oh, they're horrible, but I love seeing it. Zhang Weili is an amazing fighter. This is going to be an amazing fight. I think this is probably going to be fight of the night, honestly. I forgot this one was on this card. I thought it was in about 3 or 4 weeks' time. When I saw this was on the card, honestly, my face lit up. I was so goddamn happy that I was just like, this is a huge fight. I'm very, very happy to see it. My enthusiasm really is bubbling over for that matchup. Then you've got the main event. Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley, bantamweight title on the line. 5'7", plays 5'11", with a 1 inch reach for O'Malley. Now Sterling, he's really coming into his own as a champion. He's got great wrestling, jiu-jitsu. He's got an awkward and effective style of striking. He kind of doesn't strike in the typical way, which throws his opponents off. He's got very good kicks. He's very good in kicking range, and above all else, he knows how to win. He knows how to get ahead on the scorecards, and he knows how to not to panic, how not to take too many chances. Because look, at the end of the day, say what will about the knee to the head with Peter Yan. Peter Yan did an intentional foul, and it compromised Aljamain Sterling. Why should Aljamain continue after that point? That fight was actually closer than you think it was. In the lead up to that knee, it was closer than you think it was. It wasn't over at that point. It really wasn't. And Yan chose to throw the knee. And Aljamain Sterling then, I think it was the next press conference, brought in the rule book and was just kept tapping it. Know the rules. Know the rules. People keep talking trash on him for going on his hands and feet in front of Cejudo. But like, the rules are you can't knee him in the head. So he knows the rules. He knows how to win. That is very valuable for a fighter, especially for a champion who wants to keep those pay-per-view points rolling. Then you've got Sean O'Malley. He's a great striker, really, really good, slick boxing. He switches stances very, very well. He throws the uppercut particularly well. That's a punch that I really like from O'Malley. His uppercut really is lovely. He's got a very polarizing character. He's got good grappling as well. We don't generally tend to see it. He tends to like to strike. He's a polarizing personality. Some people love him, some people hate him. I'm kind of like, meh. A lot of it seems a little bit forced, but look, he's doing what he's doing, and he's moving the needle. People want to see this fight, so look, he's doing everything right. And if he can get a spectacular knockout off of Aljamain Sterling, then that's big, because Aljamain has really solidified himself as the champion, as the best at 135 pounds. He's defended a few times. You knock that man out, that's a big statement win. For me, skill-wise, Sterling should win this for me. I think that he's more than likely going to be smart about it. I think that he is going to probably, strike long enough to grab the takedown and just use his top pressure to wear Sean O'Malley down. Sterling's back takes, in particular, are legendary. Absolutely legendary. When he takes the back, it's usually over. I think that's what we see here. I think he's going to take the back. I see a rear naked choke. And that is the whole card done in 15 minutes and 15 seconds, there or thereabouts. So look, you can now get on with the rest of your day, because I know you're busy. You've got things to do. You've got a full dance card. You've got friends to see, people to see, jobs to do. You go crack on. And until next time, I'm going to be reviewing all these bets. I'm going to be putting some terrible bets on Saturday. I'm going to be seeing how all these panned out early next week. Have a little bit of a laugh of how many of my bets went wrong. But until then, enjoy the fights, because I'm going to enjoy the hell out of this card. It's really, really top notch. Keep those odds long and those bets terrible.